In this video, I am going to do quick overview of structure of elbow joint. Elbow is, complex joint. It has three bones. First bone is this one. This is humerus. Humerus. This is ulna. This is radius. By the way, you are looking front part of right elbow. Okay, right side elbow, front part. Humerus, ulna, and radius. Additionally, there are three joints in elbow. It's very complex. It's very important joint. First joint I'm gonna explain is this one. This is humeroulnar joint. Humeroulnar joint, because this joint is composed by humerus and ulna. Simple, right? Humeroulnar joint. What kind of movement is happening in this joint? That's simple. This is very simple. Okay, this is medial view. This is ulna. This is humerus. This is humeroulnar joint. Okay, there are two movements happening in this joint. That is extension. Extension and flexion. It's basically arm curl movement and arm extension movement. Flexion and extension. That is humeroulnar joint. Let's go to next joint. That is here. This is joint between radius and ulna. This is proximal radioulnar joint. Proximal radioulnar joint. Radius, ulnar joint. Proximal radioulnar joint. What is proximal? Proximal means the location which is close to center of body. If there is proximal, there should be distal. There is distal radioulnar joint, but this joint, distal radioulnar joint is part of wrist joint. Okay, that's not for elbow. Part of elbow is proximal radioulnar joint. That is about here. Okay, what kind of movement is happening there? Well, let's see. Let's go to different angle. This is kind of far view of elbow and wrist. This is proximal radioulnar. By the way, this is distal radioulnar joint. What kind of movement is happening around proximal area? Well, that is pronation and supination. Pronation and supination. What kind of movement is that? That's simple. It's like a flipping wrist movement. Actually, that flipping wrist movement is happening around elbow. So if you break elbow, it's hard to flip your palm, wrist. Thus, this is very important structure. Proximal radioulnar joint. Let's go to last joint. That is here. This is humeroradial joint. This is made by humerus and radius. Simple. Humeroradial joint. Actually, there are four movements happening in this joint. Alright, this is lateral view. This is humeroradial joint. Two movements. That's for flexion. Flexion and extension. Simple, right? Flexion, extension. Two down. Then what are two movements? That is actually pronation and supination. Let's go to closer view. Okay, this is humeroradial joint. Of course, that does flexion and extension. Do you remember, in supination and pronation, this part is moving, proximal radioulnar joint. And also, because radius is moving, this joint, humeroradial joint, is also involved, included. Because, this is like a ball structure of humerus. And there's concave surface, like a socket place of radius. This part, this kind of ball and socket part is involved during pronation and supination. See, I believe this is quite important place, humeroradial joint. That does four movements. Flexion, extension, and pronation, supination. In today's video, I did a quick overview of elbow joint. I explained 3 bones, humerus, ulnar, and radius. I explained 3 joints, humeral-ulnar joint, proximal radial-ulnar joint, and humeroradial joint. This is quite important place for upper extremity. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. See you next video.